Hey guys, Josh with RussellMarineProducts.com, going over some of the setup settings and a little further in-depth look after our comparison video day on the Garmin LVS32 LiveScope. The other day on the installation video, we talked about installing the LiveScope backwards on the shaft of the trolling motor. We do that to make the trolling motor stow correctly and keep your prop out of your cover when you do it. The nice thing about that is, once you kick the LiveScope unit on at your unit, it's going to auto detect how that's set up and be just fine. That's not something you have to go into settings and you have to dink around with and switch it back and forth side to side. It's going to be auto detected for you. So now that that mystery's solved, let's go into some more of the settings on the screen record and let you guys see how to set this thing up and dial it in. All right guys, so here we are. We're in Wolf Creek in kind of northeastern Kansas right now, and some pretty clear water, rocky bottom stuff, far cry from the chocolate milk we were in the other day on that comparison video. Hope you guys checked out. A couple of things we want to talk about here. You're going to see a new icon in the top right corner of this screen. It's a picture of the boat, got the red and green lights to show you direction, and you're going to see what looks like a flashlight beam coming off of that. What that is a direction indicator on your LiveScope. So wherever that's pointing is where you're looking. Comes in handy if you're trolling motor mounted, so you can keep an eye on where you're tracking your LiveScope and what you're actually looking at. Seeing some fish come on there right up at the left towards the bank. Pretty slick. So this is pretty vanilla, guys. This is basic settings like we were doing the other day. Oh, there's a good shot as the trolling motor's moving. You can see that beam move and indicate where you're at. All right, when we talked the other day in the comparison video, we ran this amber. You can see fish moving across all the time. It's pretty clear here, it's not bad. Now, there's different color palette options. That's one of the things we can talk about first here. Go into sonar setup and appearance. Going to give you the color scheme. You got several colors to choose from here, guys. The other day on the lake, we were using copper, playing around with it in the chocolate milk water, the real low visibility. It works really, really great. For clear water like we are now, on sunny days, wearing polarized glasses, this black emerald is where it's at. Everything stands out, looks fantastic. You can see some fish darting around there, a little bit of structure off the bottom. This is probably my favorite color among them. Again, that copper color is really nice in the cloudy water, but this really stands out, especially looking through your sunglasses. On the grid overlay, I don't like it. You can have it on there for points of reference at times, but honestly, it just kind of distracts from what I'm looking at there. I prefer to have it hidden. Simple button, you just do the grid overlay and shut that guy off. Another cool feature, we'll hit it while we're here in this screen, is the bottom fill. Now what that's going to do in theory is you kick it on and it's supposed to give you a representation of where the bottom ends and the lake begins. This is not super thrilled with this feature. I could get using it if you're having a really hard time keeping orientation, but not a big fan, not something that we run. You can pretty clearly see where the bottom is there and decipher that for yourselves. Spin it around. All right, on the ranges. Now, this is something that's set in auto. It's gonna, oh, there's a good fish swimming across the screen. Somebody cast at that. When I go to forward range, I dig that around 30 feet. When you get it around there, that's gonna be a pretty cool casting range. You're gonna be able to see out in front of you, see what you're going for. If you're vertical jigging, you can peel that back in and keep it really accurate close to the boat. But that 30-foot range, especially for what we're doing today, seems to be the ticket. Click done. Depth range. I actually leave depth range on auto. As we're running around, I find that just letting it do its thing, going down with the depths is pretty slick. If you set that to something specific and you go across deeper water, you're going to lose. So you're not going to get your imagery like you should or could. So I see no problem leaving that in auto. It doesn't jump in and out like it does with the auto range set on the forward. Another thing let's look at here is the gain. So right now the gain's set at auto. You can see the colors coming at you. You can play with this gain and you can really start cleaning or fuzzing this thing up. If you turn it back, oh my gosh, tons of feedback, tons of feedback. You can start peeling this back down. You can see where you really start cleaning that clutter out of your screen and getting a lot more dialed in to just look at fish and the structure you're wanting to see. Generally for us, we dig it somewhere around that 60, 62 mark. I know you're getting a little bit of feedback there, it looks a little busy, but that's where fish seem to really show up well and you're not losing anything, especially if you're trying to track bait fish or bluegill or crappie or something like that. All right, still in the sonar setup here, one thing we can look at is noise rejection. Right now it's set at high. You can see where you're seeing the bottom, but you're not really picking anything up in the water. What noise rejection is going to do for you is if there's debris in the water, it's really silty, things like that. If you turn it off, you pick up absolutely everything. So that's no bueno. And high's too much. Run that guy right at medium. There's a good fish right under the boat. It's a lot of fun to just watch this stuff, guys. Sorry, I get distracted even shooting the video. There's another good fish. Jiminy. Love this tool. It's a great thing. All right, also in the sonar setup, go through appearances. That's where we set the color scheme there. You can work with the color gain. Now this is separate from the standard gain and it gives you more definition. This, oh, sorry, trolling motor bounce around there. You can also dial in and out. You can see if you push it way up, not great. You can still see fish, even trying to screw it up. But if you pull that down to a mid-range, that really seems pretty good. On this one, I'm gonna run it in the default right now and let it kind of do its thing. Just more settings you can play with and really dial it in for your body of water, your conditions on that given day. Okay guys, back in the menu one more time. One more thing I want to show you. Actually, I'm going to get all the way back out of here. I talked about earlier, the top right corner of the screen, that direction indicator. So how you set that guy up, menu, we're going to go into sonar setup, installation, and this button here is calibrate compass. When you go in here, it'll walk you through it. You turn the boat 1.5 times around in any direction. For those of you guys that are running this on like a fishing specialties pole mount or something like that, you can just turn the transducer 1.5 times slowly, and that will pick up and get on there. Again, really cool feature, like having it on there. Definitely clarifies things when your trolling motor's bouncing around and you can see where you're at. Guys with spot lock, it's going to be something that's super handy. You can look down and know where you're at without having to constantly check your motor and see what's going on with it. All right guys, so there's some of the setup and different settings and features you can use on that LVS32 LiveScope. I hope this clears some things up, kind of carries over from that install video so you can see there are still many features that you can dig into. And it's not so much that there's whole other categories, it's just you can play with it and really customize it to what you need. You know, you talk about having less features and not being able to dive down a rabbit hole, and that makes absolute sense. The cool thing that Garmin's done, even though their settings are wildly customizable, their interface is really simple. So it's hard to get lost in there and lose what you're doing. If you ever get confused and don't know how to go back, just turn it back to auto. Start back at auto and then you're back to square one, and it's a simple button on every one of those screens. You can just go back to auto. So there you go. If you guys have any questions, always feel free to contact us at sales@russellmarineproducts.com. Leave us a comment. Check us out on Facebook. Make sure you subscribe and hit that bell symbol. See you next time.